Go ahead, make your move. Just like if there's an outfielder out there and it's not a ridiculous price, go ahead, make your move.
Make your move.
I'm not married or in love with any of these prospects. Neither really are they. I mean, they'll make some deals. They're trying to rebuild this system still. They feel like it's going into the season, they felt like it was a middle of the road system, around 15th. And that's their own self-assessment, not what Baseball America or MLB Pipeline or anyone else is telling them. Their own self-assessment of their organization. People within the organization feel like it was right in the middle. Whether that's a little high, that's up to you to decide. But that's the way they feel. But they would not shy away from trading a prospect or two, or including a prospect in the package, if they thought it was going to help this baseball team. So don't be surprised if you hear rumors or if they're looking around for another reliever. And that's okay. And also, remember, Will Smith was brought in, and he was told he'd be given a chance to close. He was god-awful to start the season. And so that opportunity was quickly removed from him, from his grasp. But quietly, Will Smith has started to put things together again. And he is a veteran who has experience as a closer. And that's originally what they brought him in for. He one of the reasons he signed with Kansas City is he was going to be given a chance to close. And the Royals liked him in that possible spot. But he didn't have it to start the season. Now, did he? No. So he had to go in a different direction. Doesn't mean you can't circle back and see if that might work out now. He does have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How many? 5 consecutive scoreless appearances. So maybe he's figured some things out. So that could be an option. It's certainly not time to give up on MacArthur, but he should be on notice. This thing's going to be too close, and this team has shown such dramatic improvement. You can't let the bullpen sink the season. And look, these are gut punches, man. These losses it felt like 3 losses yesterday. I mean, just think if MacArthur does his job the last 2 times out there, what are we talking about? If they win on Sunday and they win yesterday. It goes both ways. They had a nice comeback victory on Monday, but it wasn't a 9th inning comeback victory against the closer. That just hits different, man. And so MacArthur's a good. He's earned a longer leash to continue to let him go out there and see if he can fix things. But I don't know what's your breaking point. How many times does he do that before you decide, well, maybe we need to step back and reevaluate things? I don't know. You let him do it a couple of more times. You let his ERA get above 5. Who knows? Maybe he's done. Maybe he's going through a tough stretch and he'll rattle off 4 or 5 consecutive scoreless outings and it'll all be good. Maybe he won't. I don't know. Because here's the deal. There's not enough of a track record for you to be confident either way. They believe in him. He's got great stuff. We've seen him pitch well, but now we've also seen him blow a couple of games. And so I'm not smart enough to tell you that I feel confident of it going either way. I really don't know. It could go either way. It's just what it is. Relievers are so volatile. Look at what he was before he came to Kansas City. It looked like he was found money. They turned him around. He pitched well, and now he's not pitching well. What does that do to him mentally? That's what the analytics won't ever tell you. How does the guy handle it for the first time in his career as a closer when he goes out there and blows back-to-back saves? I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. That's the great unknown. That's one of the great things about baseball, right? There's a mental aspect to it. That's a tough thing to handle. His confidence has got to be shaken. Or maybe they know mentally this is not going to bother him. He's just going to plow right through this, and he'll be fine the next time he goes out there. But now that it's happened in back-to-back games, it's a concern. When he comes out there for the next save opportunity, you're gonna feel super confident, and you're gonna be, oh boy, okay, oh, here we go. Please, dear God, don't give up a home run. That's how I'm gonna be. So, and I'm not. Hey, look, I'm not telling you it's time to pull the plug. It's not. You don't do that after 2 blown saves. But now this is something. This is a discussion point where it wasn't last week. So. And just, again, remember, just put that in the back of your mind that they were trying to acquire a closer before the season started. And so they still may be trying to acquire a closer, or at least another high-leverage arm. And they did bring in Will Smith to be the closer. And if he continues to pitch well and continues his stretch of scoreless outings, maybe he gets another chance out there. Maybe MacArthur fixes things and we look back at this, and it was just a mere bump in the road. Maybe he falls apart, and we look back and think, wow, can you believe MacArthur used to be the closer? That was crazy. I don't know. Don't know. It's too small of a sample size of his career. There's not enough evidence to make me feel strongly about either path moving forward. And if you're certain of what's going to happen moving forward with MacArthur, then you got a better baseball eye than me. Because I'm Mr. Hand, baby. I don't know.
I like that.
I don't. I'd like to know. I don't like that at all. I do not like knowing about this damn bullpen. It can make for exciting baseball. I don't like that kind of exciting baseball.
No.
I like the kind of baseball that I watched in 14 and 15 when the closer would come in. Like, this game's over. I know we were spoiled, but still.
Here comes Greg Holland.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So.
I don't know.
But, hey, that's what it is. He's an inexperienced closer that's going to have some rough moments. And hopefully this is, like I said, just a bump in the road.
I don't know.
But it might
That's
not be.
Nice.
But just remember, let history teach you. Remember, as of a couple of months ago, the Royals were trying to trade for a closer. Just a couple of months ago, they signed Will Smith to be the closer. But Will Smith blanked the bed early on, wasn't pitching well enough, and the Royals couldn't get a trade done with somebody. And so then all of a sudden it was James MacArthur who finished the season very strong last year and started the season strong. So hopefully it'll work itself out. But, ugh.
Well, they responded well last time they got the gut punch, so let's hope they do it again.
Right. But I need him to respond.
Yeah.
When he gets another chance.
Yeah. Well, we'll learn a little bit more about Quatraro, too.
Anybody
stick with him?
differ in anything? Anyone quicker to pull the plug on this? Anybody feel more super confident in MacArthur moving forward? It's like, I don't know, man.
I have to say, I don't feel super confident in anybody as a closer on this team. It's not that I dislike all the arms, but being a closer is a different animal.
Which is probably why they were looking to acquire one.
Yeah. So it'd be one thing, like you said, if you had a guy with a really long track record that you felt like this guy is our closer, I think you stick with him a little longer. When you got a couple of candidates, 2-3 candidates maybe, that none of them are stand out, like this guy has to be our closer, I think you could be a little quicker to mix and match. Even if it's just hey, Will's hot right now, we're going to go with him tonight. Doesn't mean he's our closer now. But we'll see if he can stay hot for a little bit. Give you a couple days off to clear the mechanism, as they say. I don't know. We'll learn a little bit about Quatraro, how he wants to handle it.
Royals lose 6-5 to the Brewers. Jake took the game, blame him.
Yeah, way to go, Jake.
Now
I did kind of jinx it. I was like, 1-0 this year.
Yesterday, you heard me talking and cautioning you about assuming that Rashee Rice would be in the clear and available to play a bunch of games this year for the Chiefs. Some people have assumed that I knew something. Did I? I don't know. You can figure that out for yourself. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. But unlike other people, I don't throw stuff at the wall to see if it'll stick. If I give you an opinion, 98, and this we've actually worked out the formula, 98.4% of the time, I know what I'm talking about.
98.42.
Rashee Rice, under investigation for alleged nightclub assault, according to Dallas police. Under investigation for allegedly hitting a photographer at a club in Dallas early Monday, according to police sources. Officers are interviewing witnesses about the incident that happened at Lit Kitchen and Lounge and its attached speakeasy venue. FEU's was Few nightclub? I don't know. So that's happening. And any way you want to look at that, it ain't good. There's nothing good that you take away from this at all. And what I can tell you, what I was told by someone very close to the situation that would know, is that Rice, at least, is being accused of allegedly punching a photographer and breaking his jaw. Allegedly. There's also talk of someone on the scene, not Rice, pulling a gun on the victim and telling him to leave. There were plenty of people there and witnesses that saw this. And if this is true, Rice is in big trouble. Could this be a money grab? Sure. Again, we don't have enough information. This could be anything. But I could tell you, it ain't good. It ain't good that he was even in that situation. I can't tell somebody what to do. I can't tell someone how to live their life. But I can promise you this. If I was involved in the situation that Rashee Rice was involved in, with the cars and the 119 miles per hour and injuring people and having all my punishment still pending, you know what? You wouldn't see me anywhere at all the rest of the off season. I'd be a ghost. I'd be a memory. You'd see me on the practice field. You might see me working out with Patrick Mahomes. I tell you where you wouldn't see me. You wouldn't see me at a club at 2:30 in the morning. I have a 27-year-old son. I have a 21-year-old son. And that's the advice I would use for myself. That's the advice I'd give them. Now, thankfully, neither one of them have gotten in trouble where I had to give them that advice, but that's the advice I'd give them. We're shutting things down for a while. You ain't going anywhere. You ain't going out. And you can say whatever you want about that. I'm sorry. But if something like that happens in such a high-profile case, and you know that you've burned your first chance, and you better not get in trouble again, man, I'd be real careful about where I was and who I was hanging around with and what I did. How long ago was this that happened?
Shoot,
with the speeding and everything else?
A month, maybe?
And if I did decide to cool it for a while, It sure as hell would be longer than a month. Am I wrong?
March 30th.
Am I being ridiculous by saying that?
No.
If I'm Brett Veach, if I'm Andy Reid, if I'm Patrick Mahomes, that's one of the first things I'd have told him after that first incident. Hey, we better not hear about you doing nothing the rest of the offseason. Sit everything out. Sit it out. Sit this one out. Sit that one out. Or am I wrong? Tell me. Because if you think I'm wrong, I'm willing to listen to it.
No.
Yeah. If I was being sued for $10 million, I probably would probably be not out spending any money.
Should I go to this nightclub and be at this event at 2:30 in the morning? My answer would be no, probably not, Rasheed. No, I don't think so.
We spent a lot of time trying to give him the benefit of the doubt, which we still, I guess, owe until we find out the details of this. But the big thing we kept saying was, okay, this was terrible. This was a terrible mistake. Not just a mistake. This was a bad mistake where you put people's lives in jeopardy and then you walked away without even checking to see if anybody was okay. But we all do stupid things in life. Everybody deserves second chances. So hopefully this is one of those moments where he learns and grows and becomes a better person and doesn't do something like that again. The idea of being in a situation like this doesn't seem like a lot of growth happened. But we'll see. I mean,
it just doesn't seem smart.
No, that's right. Right. And it seems like you're now looking at the, potential of much more serious questions about the future of his career than a suspension for part of a season, which is what everybody was speculating about before this came out. Which was your message yesterday. Like, let's not just go ahead and assume he's only going to get suspended for a few games. We don't know what's going to happen.
I mean, if you look at the downside of this, if he gets charged with assault, so it's on the table. So I'm just telling you, right?
Yeah.
That could cause Rice to violate his bond conditions. That would complicate any possible plea bargaining to lesser charges with a racing incident. It's a domino effect. That's why when you have something happen like that and you still have all these things pending, then you are walking on eggshells. You better be after that. Because you can't afford another slip up, especially this soon when you still got all this other stuff pending. You can't do it. You can't do it. And then then you no longer he's just a young guy, he's just a kid. No. Then you're questioning his judgment. Like, hey, dude, what are you doing? That's the first thing you call him right now. If you're Brett Veach, like, what are you doing? What the hell are you doing? What did we just talk about? And of course, maybe he's being wrongfully accused. Maybe this is like a money grab and someone's trying to target him. He was still in this situation to allow it to happen. Why? Shut it down.
In the club at 2:30 a.m. is not the best place to avoid issues. I mean, we've all been in the club at 2:30. We know. Doesn't mean you always have issues when you're there, but that's not the best place to avoid issues.
So I don't know. And if anyone tells you they know, they're guessing. But it's not good, and now we have to sit and wait and find out what happens.
Yeah.
But the bottom line is that no one can argue against the situation for Rashee Rice just got worse. Does anyone think it got better? Do you think, oh no, you're overreacting? I'm not overreacting to nothing. I don't know what happened. I'm giving you good information from someone close to the police department that told me in Dallas. So he was there. It was real. Something happened, and it ain't good. Hopefully, knock on wood, he doesn't get charged and it goes away for his sake and for the Chiefs' sake. But I don't know.
even if that's the case, you're going to be worried. Okay, what's the next incident going to bring?
What are you doing? What are you doing? That's all.
Don't. You've got the future. Like you've got this amazing life in your hands right now.
There's a long list of people that have pissed away golden opportunities.
Yeah.
And
It's just
guess
a
what?
shame, man.
The list will continue.
Yeah, and it's a shame. It's just you hate to see it.
We'll take a break. Back after this on WHP. Welcome back to the Border Patrol on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate it. Well, I'll tell you what. I was really, really surprised, extremely surprised at the contract that Tyler Boyd signed and how he didn't end up with the Chiefs, as he's been linked to the Chiefs many times in the offseason. He signs with the Titans, a one-year deal worth up to $4.5 million. I don't get that. And now today I really don't get it, so. I don't get it. You were the one that's been all hard up for Tyler Boyd. That really had to piss you off.
Oh, yeah. I saw that. It's a head scratcher.
Because you said many times that you want Tyler Boyd, but the price tag was going to be too much.
Yeah, and then, I mean, it's not like they don't have cap room. Almost $20 million of cap space. You can't go pay this guy $5 million?
I don't know what to tell you.
I mean, I tweeted like 2 weeks ago, the day after the draft, I said the Chiefs need to go out and get another veteran presence for this young, wide receiver, a guy who's dependable, a guy who's a little proven in the league. And I mentioned Tyler Boyd and I mentioned Hunter Renfrow. Those two guys. One of those two guys would be great fits for this team. So, I guess Hunter Renfrow is still out there. But, I mean, Tyler Boyd seems like he'd be a great fit for what the Chiefs need. Bo Richter was talking about yesterday. Really don't have any big guys. I mean, not Boyd's a big dude, but I mean he's got some size to him.
It would be fascinating to know if this latest Rashee Rice news had come out 2 weeks ago. Would that have changed? Would that have made them more aggressive to try to get somebody? Does that change the way they're going to approach somebody like Hunter Renfrow or anybody else that they might be trying to get?
6'2", 185. I mean, that's
ESPN lists him 6'2", 203.
Still, I mean that's
6'2" is the point, right?
Right. Yes. Yes.
He's tall.
I mean, who knows? But the amount, I mean, I don't know. That amount of money, it seems like peanuts for a guy who has made some big catches in the league. He's 29 years old. He's had some big games for the Bengals.
So what do you I talked enough about Rashee Rice. Comments from you two, please.
I think that his future with the Chiefs is in question. I don't know. As you said, we've got to wait to find out what happened. But considering what the early reports are and what he's being investigated for, I think that in my mind, and this is of course speculation, but the first thing I thought of was his entire future with the Chiefs is in question now. And we saw what happened with Kareem Hunt. Not the exact same situation, but if you make the Hunt family look bad to a certain level, they don't want you. They're gonna move on from you. And the situation with the car wreck was really bad. So to have another incident like this in short succession, and again, if you take things individually and you say, okay, he's a young guy and he was out at a club late at night and something happened, okay, but it's not in isolation. This is right on the heels. We don't even know what the legal ramifications are going to be from the first incident yet. I mean, this is the type of thing that I went from thinking, well, if the Chiefs can get this, through this suspension with Rashee Rice, however long it is, this year, then they'll have him back. And now I'm like, I'm not counting on him being a Chief this year. We'll see where it goes. But Do you think I'm overreacting by saying that, Jake?
Not at all. Not in the slightest. I mean, look, he's so fortunate, right? That the incident in Dallas with the car racing or speeding wasn't way worse than it was.
Right.
Now, it was really bad.
But nobody died.
Right. Nobody died. People were injured, and he's being sued for $10 million, and he has some major felonies being charged against his name. And then, look, we don't know if it's true or not. Steven said that. You've said that. But the fact that his name is even linked to an incident is the problem.
You could say this. He's not doing everything he can to stay out of trouble.
No. I mean
that, that you're not doing everything you can to stay out of trouble if that's where you're at that time of day.
Yeah.
That's just the truth.
Yeah, I mean, and look, we're older guys, right? I'm 44. You guys are older than that, and it's like I don't want to sound like, oh, you shouldn't be like. Look, if you didn't have that incident 5 weeks ago,
right?
Go out,
Right.
Go out, hang out till 2:30 in the morning. It's the off season. You want to go party at the club? Go party at the club. Yeah. But, dude, you just got arrested. You just had charges pending against your name. Like, it's not being an old boomer saying don't go hang out at the club at 2:30 in the morning. Like, dude, you almost killed somebody. You have 3 felonies being charged against your name.
You're getting sued for more money than you have.
Yeah, and you're being sued for $10 million.
And here, this might be an over exaggeration, but I thought this even before this latest incident. I would, if I was Brett Veach, if I was anyone, Chiefs front office, you look at Rashee Rice, number one, as a person. You also must look at him as an investment because that's what he is. And you also look at him as someone who represents your football team in your organization. And so after this happened, the second incident, either he did it, and that's a huge problem, or he's a target down there, and that's a problem. I would pull him aside and politely say, let's stay away from Dallas for a while. Let's get you out of Dallas. That may not be the best place for a hangout for a while. Is that too much?
No, that might have been the conversation needed to have after the first incident, because now, man.
You talk about players on the field not performing, sometimes needing a change of scenery.
Yeah.
Well, this might be a player in real life that needs a change of scenery.
Yeah. If you got it's just, I was just having a conversation with somebody the other day that said, show me your friends and I'll tell you what I need to know about you. I think that's an old quote probably. But if you got buddies that are encouraging you to do stupid things or enabling you to do stupid things, participating in your stupid things, maybe you need to get some new friends or get away from those friends. Because this dude, the stakes are just so incredibly high for him. I mean, they're incredibly high for anybody that's looking at going to jail and things like that.
And it gets increasingly more difficult to defend someone where there's so much smoke.
Yeah.
And let me tell you something. I want this to be false. I want this to be not true. But I mean, you can't keep explaining all these things away. And come on. Come on. I don't care how old he is. After what happens with the racing incident, you got to change.
You got to make serious
You got to handle yourself differently.
Yeah.
Because even though there's still some bad things that could happen from that, you avoided disaster and what could have been a tragic incident. He's going to lose a lot of money. He's going to get suspended. Who knows what's going to happen coming out of that racing incident? But he's lucky compared to what could have happened.
Yes.
And
Very
now
lucky.
you're under a microscope.
And you are a target. You know, like you
Yeah, well, there it is. We'll keep you updated. The more information that comes out, we'll let you know about it. We'll take a break back after this on WHB.